Incredible, incredible day, family. Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald,
And I am your co-host, Jazz.
and we are here on a perspective shift. Like I'm excited on today because I'm loving this topic. I I'm really loving it because obviously the epitome of our podcast is personal growth, right? Without without facing uncomfortable conversations, we're not gonna grow. And that's what we're all about. And I think especially starting from what is it? Maybe longer than that, but the era of COVID, from like 2020 even up until now, with the phase of the entrepreneur, I think the realm of success and the realm of sacrifice is something that really needs to be consistently talked about, right? Um, so, but before we get into it, because I know we got a lot, like I know we about to go crazy. Um, I want to ask you, Jazz. The icebreaker question. What is something that you failed at this week?
I felt that going to the gym.
Oh my God, Jazz.
I was supposed to start Monday, and I kid you not, every morning I would get up and turn that alarm off. Every morning. I conquered at that and failed at actually getting out of bed. So I'm glad I woke up,
Here we
but
go.
as I got.
Yeah.
So Monday, I'll make sure I actually get up and get out the bed and get to the gym. I don't know if it's gonna be get up, get out the bed, then get back in, but hopefully I can get up out the bed and then leave the house.
You is a trip. My goodness. Don't you want to get that body right, man? You gotta like an entree out here, man.
I gotta get it together.
It's funny.
There's
Are
this
you crazy?
there's this video that says this lady, I don't even know if this is appropriate, but this lady said that she wanted to be um like a she said she wanted to be a spiritual woman with the body of a whore. Yes, you think
Oh, yeah.
she said she wanted to be a godly woman or something with a body of a
With
whore, but
with a, with a, with a stripper body,
uh,
I think she's a. I
you know,
mean, I hear it, right? I'm not knocking it at all. You just gotta know that the body of a stripper or the body of a whore, like the it comes with challenges.
yep. Hey,
That's crazy.
whichever way you put it.
That's funny. What is other than because I know you failed and conquered in the same thing, but what exactly did you conquer this week?
I conquered landing a position for the registered behavioral technician job that I've been trying to
Yes,
get. So I'm very happy about that.
virtual class. Congratulations for sure. I forgot you was on. You conquered a lot. It was because you've been trying to get that position for a minute.
Yeah, it's been it's been since August actually. So um it's been almost 2 months now because it was like mid-August when I uh first started applying.
Uh,
So yeah, we're a month in. But I mean, I'm glad that I got it within a month and not 2 and 3 and 4. So
right.
I'm happy about
And and I know you shared with me some of the things that you're doing, like your vision behind it. But what's for the people, what's next? Like, so you get the job. What is your vision for the next year, 2, 3 years? from there.
It's crazy because they asked me that. So I'll be doing therapy for kids with autism. Very excited about that. I love children. So I know that it's going to be very fun. Within the next year, I still plan on being a registered behavioral technician, but I also want to be working on getting my BCBA, which is becoming a behavioral analyst. I do have to go back to school for that, but my job, the company that I work for, has plenty of programs and lots of things to help me get back into school and for a cheaper price as well. So I'm very excited to get started on that. So hey, next year I'll probably be a behavior analyst before I know it, or
That's
maybe
fine.
or maybe in 3 years, because I don't know how long school is going to take. But I'm excited. We're gonna take it one day at a time and go from there.
That's fine. Being an analyst in anything in general just sounds important. Like I'm an analyst. Like what? That's fine. Um, hmm, Jesus. For me, what did I? Starting off with what I failed at this week. I I want to say what I failed at this week is my emotion. It's been a lot that I've been going through these last couple of weeks. And I don't think I was. I mean, I eventually was able to deal with my emotions, but I think I allowed it to. I want to say affect not even affect my decision making. I just sat in my emotions for a long time, and not being able to properly talk about it was definitely a challenge for me. So I think that's the only thing that I can really say in terms of what I failed at specifically. Um, because it's this is crazy because my guy Cornelius, he got the same birthday as me, so we connected immediately, and he just came back to work the other day, so I was able to actually really vent, because he was like, "Bro, how is?" I think he said something like, "How is your energy?" or something like that, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm lit. I'm good." That's me. I'm always incredible. I'm always amazing, phenomenal. Um, but I think he asked me like something else deeper, and I was like, "Can I be honest with you?" He said, "Yeah," and then that was when I just let it out, and it was such a beautiful thing to um, let it out in a male perspective. I got a female perspective from you, Jazz, but to get a male perspective was definitely something that I needed. Um, so even though I kind of sort of failed at it in terms of lingering, it was also a win. Um, but what I conquered actually was what I conquered is actually being consistent with the podcast. Like, shout out to Mariah for joining the team. She's now a part of the marketing side. Shout out to my consistency with just being able to show up because not only am I hearing you here, Jazz, but TP is back. And now TP was able to see the need, in her absence, and I'm pretty sure she's seen part of it, right? But we had our talk, and for some of you guys, if you guys have seen the post, I shared where we were happy, we were smiling, and we were crying all in one, and it wasn't even an episode. That could have been an episode for sure. But yeah, that's what I conquered. Just really being putting things like I feel more. I feel less like a regular entrepreneur and more like a business owner, more like a CEO. So that's what I conquered, and I'm happy about it. Thank you, I appreciate it. Now, getting on to our topic, success versus sacrifice.
Dun dun
What
dun.
what are your thoughts behind that before we really get into the question?
Um, you already know what I'm gonna say. Without sacrifice, there's just no success. There's sacrifice in every single thing out there. And I'm gonna stop right there because if I say anything else, I'm gonna mess up the rest of the podcast.
She
What do
go, we about to end this episode right now. It's over. She just how how you go into the answer of the question already? My God.
you just
um. So what is okay? So I love TP. TP has a very interesting mindset. And it goes off of my brain as well. Let's break down because this is a perspective podcast, right? Right. We are everything is perspective. So what would success? What does success mean to you? First of all, before we can even say, without success or without sacrifice, you need success. What does success mean or look like to you?
Success to me means to be able to conquer something, just like we just said.
Yeah.
Um, I'll leave it there.
Now go ahead, go deep. Go ahead. I know you want to go deep. Just give it to me.
What we got, um, but yeah, I do think that it's something that you conquer. It's something that um you gain after working on something or yourself, a project, whatever it is. What was the second part of your question?
I didn't ask the second part yet.
Oh, I thought it was like, what does it mean and something else? Okay, well, yeah,
Oh
that's fine.
well, what does it mean and what does it look like? That's what I said. Yeah. What does it look like?
Um, getting a job you've been applying for, just like I did. Passing a test, just like I did. um,
For sure.
having an event go the right way, whatever you deem as the right way, that's success. Um, there's so many things I could say, but yeah, those are a few bullet points.
I think like as I was I wish I remembered the full definition of what not Jim Rohn, who was it? I think it was Bob Proctor. He was saying something like success is the progression of a worthy ideal, something like that. TP, you may know the thing, but I definitely understand where you're coming from because for me, I think success is really almost just what you make it. You make what success is. Like for me, success is just finding joy in the moment. Finding peace in the moment. Being able to be grateful. Um, yes, reaching the goal is not success. Success is a moving target. Yes, success is definitely a moving target for sure. So it changes depending on the situation. It changes depending on the season. Um, but I think what never changes is being able to find joy and peace in it. You know. So that's what success is for me. How about sacrifice? What does sacrifice mean to you?
Sacrifice to me is, how can I put this into words? Hmm. Sacrifice to me is either having discipline over a certain thing or certain things to get to certain points in your life. I know that there are multiple points, so I'm not just gonna say like one point, but um, yeah, like for example, I could be sacrificing my sleep so I could study and work on my business and make products. I could be sacrificing waking up earlier than I usually do so I can make sure I'm reading my Bible, meditate, whatever. It's sacrificing something that you usually would do and put something else in place of that. Yeah.
Mm. So what was ringing in my head just now? Um, I kind of want to put it for myself in a better perspective. Um, success is the success is the result. Um, success is the result to the goal or the result of the goal, and sacrifice is the cost to get to the goal. Right. So my specific definition is for sacrifice is the cost of something you're not willing to pay. Right. So you don't really want to pay the specific cost, right? But you're going to pay it because it's going to lead to something greater, right? It's going to lead eventually to that success.
Mhm.
So I think maybe to change the narrative or even change the topic of discussion is almost like instead of someone thinking that it's success versus sacrifice, it's more like it's success and sacrifice,
Yeah.
right? Um, what you think about that? How would you blend success with sacrifice? Or what is your perspective on what I was saying?
I completely agree with what you were saying. Just like I said, it literally what you said connected directly to my examples that I gave. Um,
Mm,
I don't feel like there's a versus. The only way there could be a versus is if personally you feel like it's different on two
yeah.
different. But I do feel like they're connected. So I don't feel like there's a versus with that, simply because I just think it's a non-negotiable for me. Um,
Mm,
and it's a non-negotiable because I've seen my success after I've sacrificed.
yeah.
And um, sacrifice doesn't always mean stopping yourself from doing something or being more disciplined. Sacrifice will also mean I have to go through a little bit of a rough time just to see the brighter side of something.
Mm,
Um, and if anyone out there doesn't understand what that means, it could be as simple as losing your job and having to be patient for 6 months.
yeah.
That's a sacrifice. Or hmm, I think that was a really good point.
Or or even like pertaining to the job, even sacrifice could look like staying at the job for 6 more months to be
I
able to, you know,
word right out of my. I was like, do I want to say that? That's why I was like, but you said it for me, so
we here with it. We here
yeah.
with it. I love it. Um, talk to me. Talk. Because I really want to go. It's my mind is going everywhere, right? And I don't want to like completely take over the conversation. What are some questions you think some people have about success and sacrifice?
Um, I had a question earlier. Um, Do you feel like you can be successful without sacrificing? If you do, why? Or if you don't, why not? You can leave that in the comments under our subscriptions on YouTube. But what do you think about that, Ron?
So, and we were talking about this prior, right? And it got my brain juices flowing. And I am a person that, because I remember you stating that, like, with we all believe that you need sacrifice in success, right? Um, but because success is perspective, I think you can. So here's the thing. I think sacrifice is needed for success, but I do not think all success needs sacrifice. Reason being is because you can achieve a specific goal and not have to make a specific major sacrifice. You can just be sacrificial. No, not sacrificial. You can just be successful. Although, to be able to maintain the success, right? To be able to, like, for an example, there are some people that have become millionaires and didn't have to make a huge sacrifice. So
Yes.
some people had the privilege of being a millionaire, right? Another example, in the platform that I was in before, the network marketing company that I was in before, sadly and unfortunately, and this happens, I'm pretty sure, in many network marketing companies, is some of the leadership roles or successful roles were given to them versus what they actually had to work for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there were certain ranks where you were making a residual of 600 a month versus other ranks where you were at 50,000 a month, right? Some of those higher rankings, I know some specific people where they were just given the role.
Mm-hmm.
So you're now living this successful life. People looking at you like, oh, they're, you know, this specific rank. Wow, you're making $50,000 a month. You're making $100,000 a month. That's dope. So they didn't need the sacrifice to get there, but they do need the sacrifice to maintain it because now you have a whole organization specifically under you
Mm-hmm.
that you have to learn how to reach out to those specific people, and you have to learn how to develop leaders so that way you keep the rank.
Yeah,
So I think success is success you can achieve without sacrifice, it but you need sacrifice. You need sacrifice to maintain the success.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with that for sure.
I can't wait for us to start disagreeing because this is too easy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have one of those topics where you
Yeah,
think one thing and I think completely another thing.
yeah.
Um, though I want to add to that, you honestly said everything that I would have said because I
Yeah.
really agree with that. And the only thing I would be doing is just giving another example.
Go ahead, give some examples, girl. Do
I
it.
give a scripture though,
Yes.
so I have that. Let me get to it really quick.
Okay.
So we have Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6. It is sow your seed in the morning and do not be idle in the evening, for you do not know whether morning or evening sowing will succeed, or whether both of them alike will be good.
Mm.
You want me to read it one more time?
Yeah, yeah. My brain juices is still processing it. Say that again.
Sow your seed in the morning and do not be idle in the evening, for you do not know whether morning or evening sowing will succeed, or whether both of them alike will be good. What do you
Oh
take?
my god. Oh my god. Oh, this is that's yells. First of all, send me that.
I will.
Send me that, right? So, and this is so crazy that like when you start hearing certain things, it's such a confirmation of you doing and saying the right things.
Mhm.
What I've been talking about often, specifically with personal development, is how you start your day determines the rest of it, right?
Mhm.
And then I tell people, right, and I've had talks with each and every one of you guys about what are you what are you doing or what are you listening no, well what are you yes, what are you doing and what are you listening to in your idle time,
Yeah.
right? That is so because you do not know, right? You don't know what you're going to face. You
Yeah.
don't know how big of a demon or how big of a devil that you're going to be challenged with throughout the day.
Exactly.
You don't even know how fast you are going to encounter these situations. Because
Yes.
it could be like you get your morning prayer in, or the time, let's just say, for example, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. is the time that you get your prayer and your meditation and all that good stuff. But you just so happen to skip it, and the demon or the devil or the situation is waiting for you at 9:30.
Mhm.
Now you're unprepared,
Mhm.
right? So that's why I encourage number one, to be able to intentionally um, listen to some things that's going to actually be stimulating to your mind and conducive to your everyday actions and environment, right? And I want to pull up something really quick, because I want to give this to the audience. This is so like not left field, but this is just so needed. And I created. I don't know if I spoke about this. I don't know if I did yet, but so I created a challenge that I think everybody should do. I started the challenge and I failed it intentionally. Um, I almost did it, but I failed it intentionally because it was more so of a test run to see what I wanted to add and take away. So here's the challenge, right? And this helps with idle time. Um, the challenge is for 30 days. You cannot listen to music. You cannot listen to audiobooks. You cannot watch movies. And what's newly added, you cannot be on social media. And the reason for the social media part is the social media part is going to lead many times to you listening to music without you even realizing it. That's what happened with me when I was doing the challenge. But on the other side, you must read within the 30 days. You must read 5 books. And the things that you can only listen to or watch is sermons, podcasts, motivational videos, and educational videos. So those are the only things that you can do in the 30 days. And that's going to strategically challenge you to make sure that your idle time is productive and that you're filtering what you are taking in, because what it says in his word, you don't know the what you just read, Jazz. You don't know the basically like the challenges and the success of the day, right? You don't know what's going to happen, and if you don't know the challenge, you won't even be able to have the success. So you can't deem it a success if you don't encounter the challenge. So yeah, I know that was heavy, but yeah.
I like that. I do have a question and then a comment.
Okay.
So for and this is for the ones that are watching. I'm going to just speak for people that may have this question. If in this challenge, if I cannot listen to music, how does that go if I regularly go to church and there's praise and worship?
I love that because yo,
I'm like, do I go to church after they finish singing? Like, what do I do with that?
so you go to church after praise and worship. Now let me stop now. So what is it?
Like, I don't know. I don't think this challenge is gonna work for
No.
me.
So so here's the thing. With this challenge also helps you with control, right? Understanding and identifying what you can control and what you can't. If you are on the praise and worship team, right? Or if you're, let's just say, a praise and worship coordinator, or if you're, um, let's just say, even, well, let's just stick with this with church, right? Um, you can't control praise and worship, right? You can't control the music, so you have to listen to music, right? Now, when you leave church and you're driving home, you cannot play music. Now that's intentionally you put that on.
Okay.
If you are, and I was talking to Mariah about this, because I was telling her about the challenge before, and she was talking about the Lyft and Uber situation. And I was like, you can do two things, right? Number one, your passengers may want to listen to music. So you don't want to mess up your rating, right? So um you allow you allow it to be where you play the music, but that's partially what you can't control, right? Because that's what they want.
Mhm.
Although you can tell them, hey, I am on a fast or I am on a challenge where I personally can't listen to music. And I know you want to listen to music, right? But what I can listen to are podcasts, are sermons, are motivational videos. And these are what I've been listening to. Do you care to share? Or do you care to listen? And trust and believe, I was doing Lyft for like a year about, and I do not, even before the challenge, I don't even play music in the car. When I'm with them, when I'm by myself, I do it, right? Because I'm intentionally listening to my gospel music, but I don't play no music when they are in the car. The reason why is because I'm intentional with conversation. If I'm intentional with conversation, they're not going to be thinking about music. So that's how you deal with that when it comes to music is understanding what you can control and what you can't.
Okay. That's a great answer. I was worried for a little bit. I thought I was gonna have to rebuke you. Um, okay, that was good because yeah, I was worried a little bit. I was about to tell my pastor on you. Um,
That's funny.
the comment that I have goes back to the scripture that I read. So I'm
Okay.
gonna read it one more time just for the people that may not remember exactly what I said and you don't feel like going backwards. It is Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 6. It is sow your seed in the morning and do not be idle in the evening, for you do not know whether morning or evening sowing will succeed or whether both of them alike will be good. Now, The comment I wanted to make is going to counteract the comment that you made about um the here we go. Now we got to so my
We got
perspective
action.
my perspective of that would be um okay, let me reiterate first. Ron's perspective was making sure you're doing the work in your idle time because you may not know what challenges will come up or what demon will come forth and, try to stir things up in your day or in your life. My perspective from that verse is simply do the work at any time that you can because you never know when it's going to be your time to be successful. So both perspectives are correct and right and perfect. But I do feel like that verse really speaks on how much you're willing to sacrifice your time to work on something that'll get you to where you want and need to be. And it doesn't even have to just be about a business or personal development. It could simply be just to get closer to God or just to get back to heaven, which is what most of us are doing. Um, but yes, I do take that as in my idle time, I still should be doing some form of working on something, whether it's personal, business, religious, spiritual, whatever it is, I should still be using that time. So to connect with what Ron said, yes, I could be reading some books. I could be listening to gospel music. I could be listening to podcasts, motivational speakings, and everything like that. I could be doing that. If you have products, you could be getting your products together. If you have services, you could be editing, what kind of service you give to people or making it better, see how you can make it better for people, adding something onto it, things like that. And honestly, we have so much idle time. Honestly, if you really sit and think about it, when you start to become the person that wants to schedule your day, you start to realize how much time you're not doing anything.
Mm.
And that's what we all mean by idle time, doing something in your idle time. Once you start scheduling, and I say that because that was my own experience. I end up downloading a daily planner. And even though I love writing things, and I'll make sure I share this with you guys as well. Um, and everyone out there, if you are interested in the daily planner, I will also see if Ron can put it in our description below. But for our podcast members, I will share that with you all. But I love writing things down, but it's something about this daily planner that I love. Um, Simply because I could just duplicate the page over and over and just change the dates, change what I need to do, just type it in really quick, just in case I don't have time to write it. I can access it on my phone or my laptop, and sometimes that's just a lot more convenient than me because I may not have paper with me or my printouts. Um, One, it's cute. Two, I can use emojis to use my check off list or whatever, just making it fun. And that way it doesn't just feel like school or a punishment or something. Because when it comes to being diligent and disciplined in something, sometimes it can get really boring and then you don't want to do it. So I say that this daily planner is great. I made that point to say this daily planner has showed me how much time I wasn't doing anything, how much idle time I had. I literally started my planner from 6 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. And for every hour or every 30 minutes or every 45 minutes, I had something there. And some of those things either took me 2 hours to do, 1 hour to do, 45 minutes to do, whatever it took. But I had my to-do list down from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. every single day. After that, I'm mostly sleeping. But I thought that was a perfect thing to do for myself because you can really utilize so many hours in your day. And honestly, the earlier you wake up, the better it is for you because you can get more things done and you will have a more positive outlook on your life and other things. It just really does work that way. Even when I was just like, I'm not doing that. But once I started doing it, it was amazing. Oh, sorry. But yeah,
Nah, you good.
it's
I was like,
amazing.
what?
So yeah, I'm just saying all that to say maybe you might need a planner to just be more disciplined within your day. This is a lot that we are giving you guys, and you may feel like it's overwhelming to try to implement that into your life if you haven't done so yet. So I say start with a planner. Start with what's most important to you. If getting up and working out will help you out, go ahead and do that. If getting up and praying first, doing your worship and everything first, go ahead and do that. Either way, the earlier you get up, whatever you do first is going to give you your creative juices next. So you might want to wake up and go ahead and do it. Drops mic.
So I love that you went that route, right? Because I want to talk about idle time. Um, because many of us are not aware of how much time we have,
Mm.
and we're probably not even aware of what idle time is. So I got a few definitions for us. Because I was also writing something that I wanted to speak about before, and I don't know if it was for a podcast episode or just a regular speaking or whatever, but I was researching it, and so idle time is a period of time when an asset or employee is available but not being used productively.
Mm-hmm.
So 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 when it comes to jobs, when you are a business owner or when you're just an employee, just imagine if somebody summons you and they hire you like, and this is what happens a lot of the times at the gig work that I do, where they hire 30 of us to come work for them, and half the time we're just standing there doing nothing. What happens with idle time? Yeah, it's so irritating, right?
That would
What
irk.
what and what happens during that time is that leads to complaints. That
Mhm.
leads to you built up frustrations and like, yo, hey, I'm cool to like. Some people be like, hey, at least we getting paid. But other people like me is like, but time is going hella slow. I much rather not get paid and be at home to do something productive versus to be here and do absolutely nothing but get paid. Like it's and it sounds cool. Everybody want to do nothing and get paid, but it's like at what expense to your time,
Mhm.
right? So the other definition that I had before, and I can't see it on Google, but it says without purpose or effect and pointless. So we have, and this is what I want to make you guys aware of, is we have a lot of idle time in our day, right? One of the times is when you wake up, right? That's one of the biggest times. And just to backtrack, idle time is times where you are most vulnerable. So whatever you are listening to or watching or whatever or around, it is more what's the word? It is more enhanced, right? It's almost like a compounded effect, right? So one of the times that is idle time that we all have is when you wake up, right? The moment you wake up, what are you doing and what are you listening to? That's why I always say how you start your day determines the rest of it. Number two, what most of us don't realize that I had to, you have no idea how many times I've had this conversation with people and it's helped them, is understanding another time of idle time is traveling. So when you are in the car, when you're on the bus or the train or you're walking, that idle time, that idle time is when you preferably listening to music, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then I ask people, I say, hey, what music are you listening to? And then they say, oh, yo, I'm listening to such and such album. I'm listening to this type of music. I'm listening. Then the moment they tell me something like Sexy Red, I, Sexy Red, do your thing. I don't agree. I don't agree with what you be saying. I don't agree with your perspective, but your perspective matters, right? But the music we listen to will shape our emotions, right? It causes us to feel an emotion,
Yep.
which triggers thoughts in our heads, which comes to reality, right? Which leads to our actions. So when I tell people, what are you listening to? It further confirms why you feel this way, or it further confirms why you did this thing, or why you made this decision,
Yep.
because you shaped it based upon what you listen to. That's why a part of the challenge, or the big focus of the challenge, is to shift from just music to listening to people just talk. Right? You can't just, oh, I'm gonna listen. No, no, no. I need you to listen to people just speak. Listen to words versus just allowing the music to take you in with the words. Right? I want you to lock in. So just make us aware, like with these specific times. And then there are certain points in your day where you come home from work, or you just finish a workout, or you just get home from doing laundry or doing grocery shopping, right? Here's your idle time again. The time where you are available to do something, but you may not be. So,
Mm-hmm.
what will you do in that time to make it productive? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Because idle time is the time you are most vulnerable. And if you are most vulnerable, your defenses are down, which means you're going to shield less.
Mm-hmm.
Like what's that I can't even think of the name of it, but it's the hand sanitizer, right? So the hand sanitizer is 99% effective, right? But it still has that 1%. When you have your defenses down, it changes from 99% to now it's 75.
Yep.
Now it's 50. Now it's 25, you know? So just making you guys aware of idle time.
I like that a lot. Um, there was something I had to say. Actually, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I have one more scripture,
Okay.
and I promise I won't scripture y'all down. But if y'all let me, I will. But all right. So I have Proverbs chapter 13, verse 4, and that is lazy people want much but get little, but those who work hard will prosper.
My God.
Is lazy people want much but get little, but those who work hard will prosper. Could you tell me how you feel about that chapter and verse?
Oh man.
It honestly
So
really connects with the idle time as well.
it does. It does. And even before I get there, that verse was such a confirmation to my feelings, because when I'm at work, the thing that I hate the most is working with people that expect the check and don't want to work for it.
Okay.
It's like, why did you pick up this shift knowing that you had to do work, but complain that you gotta do work.
They don't be there for the right reason. That's it.
So, and it's like if you want to do less work, position yourself to a higher level so you can be able to do that.
Exactly.
Like like yesterday, I was working at the Trump rally, right, which was definitely interesting. Um, but there's this lady that I see everywhere I go at all the venues that I'm at, and she's always working or have access to high level things. Like she's always with the superstars. Whenever I'm working at the T-Mobile Arena, she's always with the women's basketball team, right? She's always with the UFC fighters. She's at the Allegiant Stadium. She's always on the floor level with the football players or at the concerts with the stars. So she's always doing these things, and it's like work, but it's still like a vacation or it's still like a party at the same time. It's not. It's not. Um. It's not a bad thing that we want to do those things or have those desires, but just position yourself to be able to incorporate it in your life. Versus saying I'm going to expect it and not even put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first part. I have a lot more, but I don't want to take up too much time. What you think about that?
Um, I agree with everything you said. Um, and I really want. I was itching to say that verse with you talking about idle time. And just to give a push to the people out there that may choose lounging around over being a better them or bettering anything in their life. I just want this to be that episode that really makes you want to get up and be like, okay.
Yeah,
One day you'll end up being tired of yourself. We've all been in places where we're lazy.
yeah,
We've all been in places where we're lazy, but lazy gets us nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. You're gonna end up most times. Now, not everyone feels this way, but most people that have that urge in them to do something that'll make them successful or to do something where they have to sacrifice in, most of the time, if they're not being successful or not sacrificing, they are unfulfilled.
right.
And I am
Oh,
one of those people.
Jesus.
I am one of those people. I am unfulfilled if I'm not doing something. And I was just telling my partner yesterday. I had a client yesterday to clean for. Well, it was really like an organization job, and I was telling him that I'm so ready to. I'm frozen. There we go. I was telling him that I'm so ready to just move forward in my life. And he was like, as far as what? Like starting your job. And I was like, yeah, but I meant more than that though. But in the moment I was like, yeah, I just feel stagnant. But I
Mm,
didn't go into detail. It wasn't just about me getting a job.
right.
It's about everything. Like I feel stagnant because I have been. Like I haven't been doing the most out of what I could do.
Yeah,
I've really been doing the lesser side of that. And when you're a person that has a huge drive, when you're a person that has businesses, when you're a person that believes in God the way I do, and when you're a person that isn't fulfilled without working or sacrificing, it's just such an empty feeling.
yeah,
It's such an empty feeling. Like I'm just a person that has to work on something or I am not fulfilled.
yeah,
Just as simple as being depressed or sad or upset. Me working on not doing that fulfills me. Just something as simple as that. or me working on my business, that fulfills me. Me making a product that I haven't made in a few weeks, that fulfills me. Me adding new products to my business or taking classes like I've been doing, that actually fulfills me because I feel like I'm doing something in the progression of my life and not the idol of my life. I guess you could, however you want to put that. I just couldn't find the right word, which y'all get it. But yeah, I honestly, I hope that that touched someone's heart. I'm pretty sure it did. If it don't, it's okay. It'll help you later on in life because I know we just sowed some seeds on y'all, and that's to just that. Thanks for
That
coming.
part. I want to close with this. Because this is the second part that I actually wanted to speak on. Because when it comes to success, you can be successful without sacrifice, right?
Mhm.
But your the longevity of your the longevity of your success will depend on if you had to sacrifice or not, right? The other part is the people that are achieving success without sacrifice is what you said, unfulfillment. Like, just imagine you get, and this is what happens with so many people that are entrepreneurs, business owners, or just successful in general financially, where you become a multimillionaire or you become a six-figure earner, um, and you have all the cars that you dream of, the women or the relationship that you dream of or whatnot. Um, you have all these things, but you are just unhappy. Now you are, and the thing is, many people that are actually successful financially aren't in successful relationships.
Mhm.
They're failing at that. So now they have all this money and access to go anywhere in the world and do whatever they want, but they don't have this thing, they don't have no one to enjoy it with. Then you may have, let's just say, someone to enjoy it with, but you're learning that you probably are happier alone. I'm trying to force being in a relationship with somebody to make myself happy, and it's actually making me more miserable.
Mhm.
So I just want to make you guys aware. You can definitely achieve success without sacrifice, but you're going to cost the longevity, and you're also going to cost. It's going to cost you unfulfillment for sure. But yeah, family, I appreciate you guys for joining this episode. We are definitely, we have so many part twos that we gotta do. It's, but this is, I don't, we gotta go really in depth. I think the next time we do this episode, I want to do almost like a training. Like, I want to put together some stuff, and we could do like a training for the people, because like idle time is being aware, and conscious of what idle time looks like in our life, so that way we can be able to be productive. Because sometimes productivity is, um, oh, see, I'm kind of going into the next episode. Sometimes, sometimes, sometimes unproductivity, or sometimes being overly productive. Um, no, I lost it. Sometimes when we are too productive, um, no, that's not how I wanted to say it. Oh man, it was a certain way. It was too saucy, so it'll come back on the next episode. But for n- for now, if you haven't subscribed, I don't want you to just continue dating us. I want you to marry us, right? And we're gonna say I do for sure. So subscribe to the YPM channel on YouTube. If you just type in YPM space pod, YPM space POD in YouTube, you'll find us. And if you are on all the other audio platforms, you'll reach us at Your Perspective Matters. We'll see you on the next episode. Why? Because your perspective matters. Let's